Pooja lived in a sun-drenched apartment on the corner of Rajpath Lane, a place where the light filtered through thin yellow curtains and lay in warm puddles on the wooden floor. Her days were a constant swirl of emails, video calls, and an endlessly vibrating phone. She slipped through each hour efficiently. Lists checked, groceries delivered, deadlines met, all while balancing the intricate loneliness that sometimes swept in after dusk when the city quieted. On an ordinary Wednesday, she returned home earlier than usual, lugging a bag weighed down not only by her laptop and files, but by a fatigue she couldn't shake. She noticed the mail lying messily on her doormat. Bills, advertisements, and, among them, a cream envelope edged with blue. Its corners were soft. The ink faded from travel, but her own name was neatly penned in unmistakable looping script. Her breath caught recognition, hesitation, a gentle ache. It was from Aarti, a friend she hadn't seen in 7 years. Someone who had once been the sun around which Pooja's world revolved. Their college years had been stitched together with shared laughter, whispered confessions under hostile blankets, long nights deciphering dreams, and the silent promise that best friends could weather any storm. But life, in its unpredictable current, had swept them apart. One cold winter, there was a misunderstanding, words left unsaid, apologies left unwritten, and their communication faded like footprints in rain. Pooja carried the letter to her favorite armchair, heart tumbling between hope and dread. She traced the envelope's flap, but didn't open it. Instead, she placed it atop the bookshelf, the space above her work desk, where it stayed, growing dust and weight over the days. A week passed. Sometimes she'd brush her fingers along the envelope as she walked by. She wondered what it could hold, a bridge to forgiveness or a mirror to her own mistakes. She was terrified of explanations, of having to face her role in the falling out, of whether too much time had passed for bridges to be rebuilt. Her mind spun with what she'd say if she ever called. "I miss you," or "I'm sorry," or simply, "Thank you for writing." But inertia and pride, two formidable partners, kept her from tearing open the past. The unopened letter became both a comfort and a shadow. She thought often of the night everything had changed, an argument about something trivial, the way their voices had grown sharp, slicing through years of kindness. How both had retreated to wounded and stubborn for real conversations. Weeks became months, then years. One particularly stormy evening, Pooja came home soaked through, the city's power flickering with every thunderclap. She sat by the window, wrapped in a shawl, watching lightning fracture the night sky. On the bookshelf, the letter's cream face seemed to glow, calling to her. With trembling hands, she finally picked it up and slid it open. Inside, artist's handwriting unfurled across 3 sheets. Warm, familiar, slightly hurried, the words carrying the breath of the woman Pooja remembered. The letter began simply. Apologies for silence. Memories conjured of late-night chai and aimless walks. Confessions of missing their old camaraderie. Do you ever think about all the things we didn't say that day? I do, all the time. I was angry, hurt, but mostly afraid. I wondered if you'd move on and wouldn't care, not realizing I was pushing you away. I realize now, life is too short for pride. I'd love to hear your voice again, to laugh about how ridiculous we once were. If you ever want to talk, I'll be waiting. Love, always, Aarti. By the time she finished reading, Pooja's eyes stung with unshed tears. The storm outside had softened, but inside her, a fierce wind began to settle. She sat in silence, letting the words wash over her. That night, Pooja wrote a response, her own apology, her version of events, but mostly her gratitude for the letter that broke their silence. She scrolled through old photos, laughing at their youthful antics, feeling as though time had folded over itself and made their friendship new once more. The next day, letter in hand, she walked to the post office, her heart thumping with a nervous hope. When she returned home, she dialed Artist's number for the first time in years, voice shaky but determined. The call rang and rang, each second an eternity. Then, on the fourth ring, a familiar voice answered, soft, incredulous, and then joyful. "Pooja, is it really you?" They talked for hours, awkward at first, then blossoming into shared jokes, healing tears, and soul-deep relief. They planned to meet, not to repair the past, but to nurture a future built on forgiveness. And so, the unopened letter, brimming with the unsaid and the unresolved, became a key. When read, it unlocked not just apologies, but the understanding that time and pride can only delay, never destroy, the bonds forged by genuine love. Never let fear or neglect silence the words that could heal. Please subscribe for more stories like this. Let us know your moments of misunderstandings and confessions in comment section.